Dr. Linda Stewart in Orlando. I am pleased to be here with you. I'm here in my home confinement, I'm sure like everyone else, with my lovely top on and my pajama bottoms, and I'm sure that that's more comfortable than when we have to go to work on a daily basis. I know that this virus has been very difficult for our arts folks and for the actors out there who are trying their best to make a good thing better. And I hope you'll contribute tonight so that we can help those that are out of work. And I'm going to turn this over now to Kenny Howard, and he's also with Wanzie.
And there you have it, Florida
Linda.
State Senator Linda Stewart, who apparently could not remember your name without glancing down at her cheat sheet, but we appreciate her being there in her pajamas. Ask for money. So yes, people, let's remember, we got a great show for you, but we are here for a purpose. We are trying to raise, do make a donation if, when you can, any. It has been a traumatic week.
It has.
It has. I watched a documentary on the Disney Plus channel called The Boys, and it's about the composing team of the Sherman Brothers, who wrote all those wonderful songs for Mary Poppins and It's a Small World in the Tiki Room. Who knew? They hated each other. They didn't even speak to one another. They were together to write songs and for public events. They didn't even let their kids talk to each other. It is tragic. I don't know how. I've been a Disney lifelong fan and did not know that the Sherman Brothers did not like one another.
And they're rioting in the streets.
And now, this came out on Disney and people are burning buildings down. It's horrible. Hey, listen, I want to let you know that despite the pandemic, Beth Marshall Presents annual Top Teens program and the Play in a Day are still taking place virtually on this platform. So mark your calendars. Play in a Day will be happening at 5:30 on June 21st. And Top Teens will be in this spot on Saturday, June 27th at 7:30. Our guests are going to be all the winners of the Top Teens, and there'll be some scholarships announced at that time. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guest is an Orlando-based actress who received an MA in musical theater at the Royal Conservatory in Scotland, ladies and gentlemen, as well as a BFA in acting from our own University of Central Florida. Some of her favorite credits: Juliet in Romeo and Juliet with the Castle Repertory Shakespeare Company in New York City, Helena in A Midsummer's Night's Dream here in Orlando, and Maya in Zombie Island at Orlando Fringe 2016. She has performed at Feinstein's 54 Below in New York City in I Remember It Differently, 54 Sings ABBA, and the one I'm sorry I missed, 54 Sings TV theme songs. She's also a theatrical producer helping to create new works in Orlando and New York City, having most recently worked with Lawrence O'Keefe and Neil Benjamin with their 54 Below concerts, as well as with New Generation Theatrical here in Orlando, with which she was likely best known to our audiences for her delightful portrayal of Veronica in Heathers at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, directed by Mr. Kenny Howard. Please welcome the Nicole Visco.
Yay! Hello,
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. How are you doing through all this?
I'm getting by best as we all can, trying to maintain sanity through any forms of at least creating or like forcing myself to be a gardener.
Oh,
It's a shame you've let yourself go during this.
But this woman's headshot is absolutely amazing. Her eyes, as you can tell, just beautiful on that headshot. When you said you were getting new ones, I'm like, oh, she's not going to be able to recap. And then you put it on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, there they are again.
Yeah.
So.
And for we asked, I have checked, we've had a doctor, student. Those are not contacts.
No, they're not.
They're real. I was born with them.
Yeah. So he told us that you went to UCF. Are you originally from Florida? That I don't actually know.
I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, and then we moved to Florida about halfway through growing up. And so, ultimately, I would consider myself a Floridian, but at heart, I'm a Virginian.
What age is halfway growing up? Because I hope.
Yeah.
I'm adult because I consider myself an adult apparently at 18, which I'm 26 and I'm still not an adult. Don't listen to me.
Oh, yes, you are. Well, as he said, best know you from Heathers. You were fantastic in that role, and that's how we actually met. And that was a tragic callback and scenario for us because I apparently liked 27 people for Veronica to the first rounds and called back way too many people. But
I was just happy to be there. I was just like, I gotta call. Oh my God, that's all I needed.
yes.
And if people have not heard this young lady sing, they're in for a treat because you are absolutely dynamite. I have to know. I love Feinstein's 54 Below. What TV theme song did you sing in that program?
That one, I sang the Outlander theme song because, of course, I did. It's Scotland, and I'm obsessed with Scotland now, which I paid a lot of money to live there for a year. My second place was going to be the Nanny. I was going to do the Nanny theme song.
If it was the Flintstones, I was going to ask you to do a couple of bars, but fuck the...
Next time.
And then after Heathers, you kind of struck a friendship with the writer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I became friends with Lawrence O'Keefe, who wrote the music for Heathers, and his wife, Nell Benjamin, who they both wrote Legally Blonde together.
Very good. And here you are in Orlando.
Yes. Back and forth.
But you've been over there doing shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was up in New York. I was doing the New York thing. It's just too expensive. I'm like, nope, can't afford that forever.
And so the rewrites, right? Since you did Kenny's production and
yes, they revamped it to put it up on the West End, and they kind of are trying to make their own like off-Broadway kind of thing. So that's where it began, and then it migrated finally to the West End. And there were some scene changes, some extra songs replaced or added. Which really helped flow the story along smoother, even more.
You saw it, right?
Say again?
You saw it when you were over there?
I did. I saw the premiere of it on the West End, opening night of it, or opening night of previews.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of sets up your first song. Right?
Yeah.
For those, and there are probably a lot of viewers who are familiar with Heathers, could you tell us where it is in the show? Because this is one that...
Yeah, so, this is actually not from the production we did. There's a scene when JD kind of snaps and he wants to go on like more of a killing spree, and Veronica's like, no, absolutely not, we're done, you promised. And then he turns around and shoots the TV to piss his dad off, and she's like, why do you have a gun? And in that moment, she breaks up with him. And in our production, she just had a scene of like, we're done, and pieces out. Whereas in this, it's a whole song about the struggle she went through, and then just the absolute I'm out, I can't do this.
Well, I remember the shooting of the TV in the movie.
Yep.
The song is called Just Say Now. Let's hear it, Rich.
You are a drug. You are a poisoned pill. I've got to kick this habit now, else I never will. I love the rush when you would hold me close, but you will not be satisfied until I overdose. This is it, hit the brake. I am finally awake. Let me be, let me go. You need help I can't provide. I am not qualified. This drug routine getting clean. I say no, don't say a word. You speak and I cave in. You'll twist the truth again and drill deep down beneath my skin. You said you changed, and I believed in you. But you're still using me to defy the harm you do. This is it, hit the brake, call it all my mistake. Long as you let me go. You need help I can't provide. I'm not Bonnie, you're not Clyde. childhood. Blame your dad. Blame the life you never had. But hurt people, it's your choice, my friend. 'Cause I believe that love will win and hate will earn you nothing in the end. This is the end. This is it. I won't cry. Starting now, I will try to pay back all the karma I owe. Start again, somewhere new, far from cool guys like you. Oh, goodbye, 'cause now I say no. Just in time, I say no. Somehow I'm saying no. Just say no. I say no. No.
And
Yeah. She can sign.
yeah, she should probably sing us another one.
Yes, can. That's this next clip. Nicole.
What? Sorry, you froze on me.
Oh, I said set up this next clip.
Right. Oh my god. My brain just actually turned off. I don't even remember which song's next.
Give her
Sorry.
a hint. It's from the American Songbook.
Got it. Okay, so this next one
Very.
is actually one that
I'm checking out on her age, you know.
I'm gonna just like forget. I'm gonna say the wrong one. I know it. Even though you gave me that hint. It's The Man That Got Away. Julie Garland sang it. And it's from A Star Is Born. And I found it and I loved it so much because I found it right when I went through a lovely heartbreak and the guy just disappeared.
Really?
I actually happened to find that because I was writing something and I needed to find a heartbroken song for it, and I found it and I just went,
Oh, if we were live, if we were not remotely, I'd put my hand on your knee right now like Oprah and make you cry, but we'll just go.
and we would just cry together. We would look into each other's eyes and cry.
Let's hear the Man That Got Away.
The night is bitter. The stars have lost their glitter. The wind grows colder. Suddenly you're older. And all because of the man that got away. No more his eager call. The writings on the wall. The dreams you've dreamed have all gone astray. The man that won you has run off and undone you. That great beginning has seen a final inning. Don't know what happened. It's all a crazy game. No more that all-time thrill for you and through the mail, and never a new love will ever be the same. Good riddance, goodbye. Every trick is your up to, but fool will be fooled. And when he untrue, the road gets gets rougher, it's lonelier and tougher. With hope you burn up, tomorrow he will turn up. There's just no let up, the live long night and day. Ever since this world began, there is nothing sadder than a one-man woman looking for the man that got away. The man that got
Hard out, Sutton Foster.
Yeah. Liza Minnelli wishes she could do her mother's material that much justice. Beautiful. That was
Later.
a big hit. A Star is Born.
Yes.
But her next is from a bit of a flop, but it's such a wonderful song, isn't it?
Yes, probably the best known song from the show, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did all right with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Just okay. It's okay. Last song
Are you drinking?
are there what?
Are you drinking?
You know, a lady never tells. Gosh.
Yeah. What's in there? Oh, honey. What's in there?
Definitely this barefoot hard. Oh, my camera's over here. Hard seltzer.
Sponsored.
Ooh, not appetizing. Don't sue me.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about the show and where this song falls.
Okay, the last song I chose was "Astonishing" from Little Women. It is a song that I heard 10 years ago, and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to sing it. And then my high school drama teacher said, no, you're not good enough. And I went, okay. And then all through college, it was overdone, so I never sang it until now. And so.
Harp. So whether anyone saw the play or not is arbitrary. Everybody knows the novel or the movie. So set up. Where does the song "Astonishing" come in the storyline, and who sings it?
So this is Jo, and she's the second oldest sister, and her best friend, Lori, just proposed to her, and she was not happy about that. She's like, whoa, we are not on the same page, apparently. And
Lori is a man, in case.
Lori is a man, yes,
Right.
he is a man.
You said everyone.
And I heard that there were people watching from Kentucky.
Specifically Kentucky. But yep, so she's just kind of upset about that, and then she's just wanting to amount to more in life and writing and being a woman in a world where being a woman is a punishment in a way.
All right then, Rich.
Who's he? Does marry me? Marry me? The nerve, the gall. This is not what was meant to be. How could he rule all with those two words? I thought I knew him, thought that he knew me. When did it change? What did I miss? A kiss with all along that we were meant to find frontiers. How could I be so wrong? And I need my sisters here. If I can't share my dreams, what were they for? I thought our promise that we would never change and never part. I thought together we'd amaze the world. How can I live my dreams or even start when everything has come apart? I thought home was all I'd ever want. My I'm meant for something more. I've got to know I can be astonishing. There's a life I am meant to lead, a life like nothing I have known. I can feel it, and it's far from here. I've got to find it on my own. Even though I feel its heat upon my skin, a life of passion pulled from within, a life that I am making to begin. There must be somewhere I can be astonishing, astonishing. I'll find my way, find it far away. I'll find it real, unexpected and unknown. I'll find my life in my own way today. Here I go, and there's no turning back. My great adventure has begun. I may be small, but I've got giant plans to shine as brightly as the sun. I will blaze until I find my time and place. I will be fearless, surrendering modesty and grace. I will not disappear without a trace. Shout and start I yet be anything but quiet. Reserve all the astonishing, astonishing, astonishing.
And we're we don't get to see the videos when we're doing this live, and I forgot the order because we were during The Man That Got Away. We were talking about the next song, and I jumped the gun. But I think it's just
It was a stop.
It was the song.
Yes, it
Thank
was.
you. You guys are so nice to me.
Oh, God.
So before we go, I'd love to ask people binge watching. Like, what have you watching recently? Something that
I've actually been watching Versailles. I love a good period drama. And
I'm
I
watching also kind of that period, sort of. Well,
So-
not really.
of itch, like maybe a good 200 years later, but
I,
it's
Car for where are you?
pulling him off Orange Avenue. He just doesn't.
I like the period piece.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, thank you for joining us. And before we go, is there anything that you'd like to tell the people watching?
yeah, please donate to Actors Fund. Right, what's keeping us all mostly sane is art, and we really in our community of actors need the support and love the support, and so endlessly grateful for everything that you guys have been giving and doing for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Well, everybody, you'll see Nicole either producing or starring in something soon. So
We can hope.
yeah.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
And as she said, it is, and I want to make it clear, we're not raising money for the National Actors Fund. We are raising money specifically for our immediate 5-county area, for our Central Florida friends and neighbors who have lost their due to this pandemic and impossible to get through the unemployment website. Even when people do, they're kicked because they're a musician and they're not looking for work. Like, where the fuck are they going to work? So we need money, kids. We have help to date. We have just we have distributed $18,000, $100 gifts to 180 people who applied. Another 7 on the waiting list that we would like to take care of. So it'd be good if we raised at least 700 tonight before we open up applications. At the start, we had gifts from Scott Stoll, Dennis Sobek, and Karen Ann Booth of $160. If you made a donation since we went on the air, we may not have seen it yet, but Rick Claggett is at the tote board over there at the offices of Watermark Publishers, international conglomerate of the world.
Thank you, Rick.
And giving us an up. Our next guest, no introduction, because no matter how much send me a bio, she never did. But she is the most politically savvy and biting female impersonator I've ever met. I don't know where she came from or what she did before she got here, because she didn't send me nothing. All I know is she's become a dead ringer for playing VR locally in the TV Land live shows that they've been doing over there at Footlight Theater, and of course the crowning jewel in a drag queen crown that Kenny and I cast her in the Sharon Wanzie musical Monorail Inferno as the cross-dressing suicidal Disney tour guide. Ladies and gentlemen, she is here tonight to add finally a religious element to our showcase. She is Divine Grace.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, so good to see you, kind of. I miss you guys so much. I miss you.
You're wonderful. You look splendid.
This is how I woke up. No, this is what I do. You know, I'm not even kidding you. I've been trapped in this house for 74, 75 days because I'm not a germaphobe or anything like that, but I've been so terrified to go out that I've been like, no, cannot be bothered. So I have literally been walking around like, you know what? I've got a costume in the house. Put it on and make breakfast. Why not?
That's perfect. Well, tell us where you did come from, because you've been here in Orlando for how long?
I've been here for now 7 years. I can't believe it. 7 years. I moved here from New York City, where I had a career. It was fascinating. I moved here out of, I followed my heart and moved here out of love. How did that turn out? But I never expected when I moved to Orlando, to a red state. I moved out of New York City, so moving to a red state was like, shit, like, what am I doing? And I got here and realized that basically Orlando is in many ways it is sort of New York City. You have this huge proliferation of actors, singer, dancer types that I did not expect because of the theme parks and whatnot. I did not expect this would be such an artsy fartsy community.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Well, aside from being a female impersonator and lip syncing, you're also a very good actress. And tell us about what people are as B. Arthur in these shows you've been doing recently. Tell us about that.
So when we went into, I've told this 1,000 times, so forgive me for those of you who have already heard it, but when we went into rehearsals for Golden Gals live, I got cast as B. Arthur, and who doesn't want the Dorothy Zbornak role, really? Like, seriously? So I got the part, and I just gotten out of the hospital. The whole thing was just my mother had passed. The whole thing was just a mess. And we're going through the read-through in a very sort of somber, Ginger Mensch, who plays Blanche Devereaux, had just lost her grandmother, who was very close to her. So it was sort of dark. When we all got together, we're doing the read-through, and I'm tired, and and Mr. and Miss Adrian, who played Sophia, because if Sophia does not work when you're playing Dorothy's Born act, because it's basically a sister act, it doesn't work. And she was fantastic. She turned around to me at one point during the read-through and went, "How long have you been rehearsing this?" And I said, "Every Saturday night since 1985. I never realized how much of Divine Grace was built on the back of people like Bette Midler and Stevie Nicks and these sort of theatrical huge characters. I never realized how much of B. Arthur had infiltrated my character of Divine Grace until I started playing it. It was just getting on stage, bringing my voice to an even lower register, and just, "The slut is dead, long live the slut." It was a breeze. And doing these shows with Golden Gals Live, with Ginger Minch, Gidget Galore, Mr. Miss Adrian, Doug Bowser, being able to do these shows it reminds me of like the Carol Burnett show. Do you know what I mean? Where it's this strong ensemble where everybody loves each other, they get along, and it's like Will and Grace in the sense, that ensemble, where everyone's just getting on stage and playing. We get to play and have a good time at every single show, be it Golden Gals or Roseanne, whatever. We all sit in the wings. Like, you don't go back to the dressing room and hang out until your next scene. You stand in the wings and watch, because we have such a good time. So what are they going to do tonight? It's fantastic.
That's the reason doing theater.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, set up, mention Stevie Nicks, and I know that's a clip that we have of you. Could you set that up for us? Tell us about the event. And
I was working like a graveyard shift one night in a convenience store back in the 1900s, and Edge of 17 came on. And I grew up with Stevie Nicks as like the queen of rock and roll on MTV, that sort of thing. I'm old enough to remember when MTV started, and she was a big deal. And I was like, I got it, but I wasn't totally into it. And I heard that song, and went, I've got to do this song at my next drag show. And I bought the box set. And I got completely sucked in to her music. And then as soon as I moved to New York, I got involved with Night of a Thousand Stevies. And I've been with them. I think this year will be my 18th year with them. It started off mostly like Wigstock. It started off mostly drag queens, and then it blew up into something like performance art, dancing, live vocals by cisgendered, non-drag, non-binary people. And so they keep begging me to come back because we need a drag queen. Drag queens don't know who Stevie Nicks is anymore, unless you're Lee Shannon. So I am, by the way, I just want to point out, because I do Bette Midler and Stevie Nicks, I am Orlando's preeminent Lee Shannon impersonator. Bless her heart. She must hate me. Oh, this bitch.
Well,
Can I get a job at Hamburger Mary's?
yeah. Again, because you're the other person you do is Bette Midler, which she holds a claim to as well. God bless her, as you say. What is it they say in the South, Kenny? Bless her heart, right?
Bless her heart.
Yeah.
God love her.
Which means
fuck you.
exactly. All right, let's see Divine at Night of a Thousand Stevie Nicks.
Oh, thick and juicy.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Hattie. How is everybody doing tonight? Oh my goodness. They said Crystal and I said, okay, bitch. I was so happy to be part of this festivity. Again, this is my 11th year, that I even wore a float. All of it. This is, eat it, eat it, eat it. All right, so generally, here's the deal. It's generally I alternate each year between singing poorly and lip syncing It's another one of those lip sync years, but let me tell you. Each year, it seems like every year I come out here with some bitter, bitchy song. And I have some man in my mind. I'm like, that son of a bitch. I'll show him and I'll do this number. No, no, no. This year, ladies and gentlemen, is all about you. I have to tell you, I look forward to this 364 days out of the year. There's nothing like it. I try to explain to people and I'm like, it's like Trekkies for Stevie Nicks. That's what it is. Well, welcome to Comic-Con, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this.
What'd she say? Fat and wet? Or what? No. Listen, if there's 1,000 Stevie Nicks, how long does this event take for them all?
6 weeks. We are there at Webster Hall for 6 weeks. No. It's literally, there's, when I first started the event, there was just a couple hundred people at a bar in the East Village, and it kept growing. Like the Knitting Factory, the Highland Ballroom kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now we're Irving Plaza. We branched out. We are a chain with a gig in New Orleans. 1,000 Stevies are the people in the audience, which are now around 1,200 people or more. But the gig starts at around 9 o'clock. The show starts really around 10 and goes on until about 3 or 4 in the morning. And it is the most joyous, happy, like there's never any pushing or fighting. Like you have all these people drunk or high or whatever crammed into a room, and it's just the most joyous, loving. It's like being at Comic-Con where everyone's like, yeah, I like this too. And we're all having a good time. I love it. You can't go wrong. I could literally have a heart attack and shit the stage, and the audience would be like, yes, yes, she did it. She killed.
So same length as a pageant at the Parliament House, right?
Switching from Stevie, you also do an incredible Bette Midler, right? Yes.
She has been since I was, so I'm a twin. And since my brother and I were little boys, I remember one night my mother coming into our bedroom and waking us up and saying, boys, get up. You have to see this crazy lady on Johnny Carson. And we came in and she was nuts and whatnot. And then I grew up in the 80s, so she was the biggest name in Hollywood. So she had a movie coming out or 2 every year for a hot minute. And you go to the movies and watch a Bette Midler movie. It was that sort of broad, over the top, sort of to the back row sort of acting was considered okay at the time. And I fell in love. I fell in love because there was someone who was not conventionally pretty, who looked a bit like she might be an outcast or one, but was saying like, I'm fabulous. And I thought, me too, I can do that too. And Beaches came out when I was going through puberty, and I saw it, and I saw her character, Cece Bloom, and went, that's me. That's who I am. I relate to this character, and I fell in love, started getting everything I could get. And then because of her, fell in love with big band, with 40s music, with doo-wop. And she's my idol. She's truly the person who's brought me the most joy on this planet.
Wonderful. You have a story about going to her Halloween party, don't you?
So I got invited from a friend because it's a fundraiser. Like you don't get invited, you buy a ticket. But it's like $600. At the time it's like $600 ticket for a dinner and a show at this fundraiser at the Waldorf Astoria. I got to go. I just said, well, fuck it. If I'm going to go, I'm going to go as Bette Midler. If she's going to see me, she's going to go, oh, well, anyway. So I built this huge Winifred Sanderson Hocus Pocus costume. It was a lot of labor. That's not an easy costume. And I show up with my friend who got a ticket for me, show up, and we're on the main floor. We're up in the rafters. Pardon me. After we get down the floor just to sort of stargaze, and I see a woman going like, and another woman turns around, and it's Kathy Najimy, who played Sarah Sanderson from Hocus Pocus, and she looks at me and says, motions to me, come here, come here, come here. And I sheepishly walk over to me. She grabs me quite firmly by the wrist and says, she has to see this, and drags me through security to Bette Midler's table and said, Bette Midler, Bette. And Bette finally turned around and went. She drags me over, and it was the greatest compliment I've ever been given in my life. Bette Midler, and she's very short, and she's in platform shoes, and she's still like this to me. And she looks up with a crooked finger and goes, you know, I've seen a lot of these. This is the best I ever saw.
Oh.
Because I bought a ticket, I'm sure. But I ended up winning Best Costume at Bette Midler's Halloween party. And the judge was Michael Kors. So you can't, like every Halloween since then, it's been a complete disaster. It's been like, how do you top that?
Wow. That is quite a story. Life is downhill from there, isn't it?
And here I am. Coronavirus.
Okay. It'd be one thing, but then to have Kathy and Jimmy thrown into the mix for good measure. It's just such a delicious story. Well, this clip, I do want to say to the people watching, this is not the best clip lighting-wise for you. Right? There's a little pool of white light in the middle of the stage, and then a lot of red, and you walk back and forth, and it's so the visual quality is not so great. But
sorry.
No, wait. I would have said no. We would have said we can't use this, but we all were watching. We agreed. It's one thing to lip sync to a song. Okay, you know the beat. You know the. But in this clip, you have these long-winded Sophie Tucker stories that Bette Midler is telling, and what makes this clip worth watching, aside from how much you like her, is how absolutely succinct, perfect your lip sync is to these long-winded stories. I mean, how do you? I can't even conceive.
I can listen to a new Bette Midler album or concert and know exactly what she's doing with her face. I have studied her for so long, and so like I'm insane. Clearly I'm insane. I've studied her so much that I can listen to a song and I know exactly what she's doing.
Let's see.
She's my sister, she's my daughter, she's my... Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my friend. Give it up for Miss Anne Grace. Clap your hands.
Here I am, no need to search. I'm here on my feather perch, sweating like a whore in church. Boy, it's hot in here. Air so thick I cannot breathe. Hotter than Tel Aviv. If I drop dead, I know you'll freeze. Boy, it's hot in here. Every time I'm dressed, I'm looking like me. Temperature climbs to the top, and I'm emitting steam. It's as hot as it can be. 90 plus, just like me. What's up in the head you wanna see? It's hot in here. I'll never forget, my boyfriend Ernie was away on retreat, searching for his inner child, when I discovered I was in need of physical attention. So I rushed on down to the Saints Be Praised nursing home, where I can still turn my head or two. Sure enough, there was old Mr. Cornfeld. He said to me, Soph, tonight's the night we have relations. Well, we had them. We were laying in bed afterwards, basking in the afterglow and sharing a pell-mell. He said to me, Soph, if I had known you were a virgin, I would have been so much more gentle with you. And I said, well, if I had known you could still get it up, I would have taken off my pantyhose. Boy, it's hot in here. Outdoors in a steady breeze. I'm cool, I'm feeling great. When she gets some steady bed, I start to incubate. girlfriend, Clementine, at the age of 89, decided she needed a little more excitement in her life. Decided she wanted to join the Hells Angels Bikers Club. She sashayed up to a big, scary-looking guy and said, "Young man, I would like to join your organization." "Don't be silly, old lady," he said. "We're the best gang in the whole state, and you can't join unless you drink." "Oh, no problem," says Clementine. "I knock back 8 or 10 shots every night after playing pool with the boys." "You gotta smoke, too," says the biker. "Oh," says Clementine, "does marijuana count? Because I burn 2 or 3 doobies every night after playing pool with the boys." Well, now the biker's starting to get a little anxious. Beads of sweat are forming under that mustache. He says, "You don't get it, old lady. We're the toughest gang in the whole state. Most of us have been in jail. Have you ever been picked up by the fuzz?" "No," says Clementine, "but I've been swung around by the tits a few times." I'll never forget it, you know. My boyfriend Ernie said to me, "Soph, if you could learn to cook, we could fire the chef." I said, "Ernie, if you could learn to fuck, we could fire the chauffeur." Oh, I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed. Salty songs and dirty jokes put my daughter through private school. Oh, but it does take a toll on you. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. 2 years of this. How does anybody do this day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year? Come back, Celine, all is forgiven. Oh my God. Cher, Elton, anybody. Donnie and Marie cross the fucking street. Help me out. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. Oh, it's coming, I know. Oh. I should think, oh my God, they couldn't pay me enough. Yes, they can. I'll never forget it, you know. I was walking my Chihuahua puddles with my girlfriend Clementine and her Doberman pincher. We came to a bar and Clementine said, "Ooh, let's go in for a pick-me-up." I said, "Clementine, we cannot go into a bar with these goddamn dogs." She said, "Don't be such a stick in the mud. Follow my lead." And she put on a pair of dark glasses, and she and the Doberman pincher walked into the bar. The bouncer stopped her. He said, "Sorry, lady, no dogs allowed." She said, "You don't understand. This is my seeing eye dog." The bouncer was stunned. He said, "A Doberman pincher?" "Yes," says Clementine. "They're using them now, and they're very good." Well, he let her in. So I figured, what the hell? I put on the dark glasses. I got the Chihuahua by the leash. I walk into the bar. The bouncer stops me. He says, "Sorry, lady, no dogs allowed." I said, "You don't understand. This is my seeing eye dog." The bouncer was stunned. He said, "A Chihuahua?" I said, "They gave me a fucking Chihuahua." Here's the truth, it ain't no curse, a little touch of surgery. That's what keeps coming back. That's what keeps them coming back. That's what keeps them coming back. You know, I've been telling these jokes for 40 years. Oh my God, no, please, I only bring it up because I want to point out to you that I've been telling them for 40 years. You've been laughing at them for 40 years. Oh my God, even though you've heard them a million times, you laugh anyway. If that isn't unconditional love, I don't know what is. So thank you so much for enjoying me. That's the story. That's the glory of
Cheers.
Eat your heart out, Sutton Foster.
You guys, everyone watching, please donate. Donate to the link below. I appreciate you guys so much. I thank you so much for everything you're doing. It's a big deal. And it doesn't go lost on us that you're doing this. Thank you very much.
You can come back. Forget about the clips because you're just too delightful to talk to. All right, cheers. Thank you for being
I
here.
love you guys.
We had donations from Elaine Wood, Carol Robinson, and Susan Mitchell. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, you don't have a lot of money. If you got $5 you can share, please do it. The majority of our donations are in small increments, but if you can give $100, that takes care of one actor for one disbursement. Please, please, please consider giving what you can. Right now, we're going to hear from a couple of our friends, Jeff Revels and Steve McKinnon, followed by one of our flashback moments from the past, from our illustrious 8-week run. We're going to hear Cottonmouth from Todd Kimbrough, and then we will be back with our headliners tonight, Dennis Giacino and Fiely Matias, ladies and gentlemen. You guys from the Enchanted fame coming up after these fine folks.
Syndicated.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Revels, Artistic Director at Orlando Repertory Theater. I wish we were gathered at theater tonight, but still we're gathered, and that's the most important thing. Tonight we're here to try to support our artists in Orlando that have furloughed from their positions, either as actors or designers or teaching artists or full-time staff positions at theaters around town. Tonight we need to support them. At Orlando Rep, fortunately, we are still able to retain our full-time staff, but all of our seasonal employees have been furloughed. So ask if you can, please help us support these artists donating to the link at the bottom of this screen. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, Steve McKinnon here. On behalf of everyone at Theater St. Luke's, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting our community during this time. Like everyone, we're trying to provide as much hope, healing, resources as possible. One great way that you could help out is by clicking on this link at the bottom of your screen. Your donations go directly back to the Orlando arts community at this time of need. Thank you in advance, and we hope everyone stays safe, healthy, and sane. Have a good night.
I don't know how it started, honey. I only know it got a little loud. I'm looking all around me, sugar. Where are you when I need you now? You say you wouldn't change a thing. You break it down. You're dancing in the storm for the cow. So I'm standing on the corner watching. You got your hands out. Up your paws, we're slipping away. This sky is dry as desert. We're ready to die into neon signs forever. Just turn on the spigot. I know you got a next to stick it out. Just give it a try. Quit thinking around with a cotton mouth. I guess that it was backwards of me, making schemes to lead you into me. I should have thought about it, sugar. I should have said what you meant to me. So give me a drop to drink red shade cigarette when our lips were wet. Now we're hiding all the ashtrays, collecting debt with apologetic mixed cassettes. Oh, I don't know how it started, honey. I only know it got a little loud. We're slipping away. This town is dry as desert. We're ready to dive into neon signs forever. Just turn on the spigot. I know you got a next to stick it out. Just give us a try. We're slinking around with a cotton mouth.
What are you doing over there, Rich? Everything good in the control room?
I think so.
Well, on we go. We're 3 cocktails in and counting. Our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, to close out this cavalcade of celebrities, have an off-Broadway and global hit to their credits when they are a stranger to Orlando audiences were under the moniker of the Oops Guys. They have become Orlando fringe favorites with shows such as Asian Sings the Blues, Loungezilla, Do I Make You Horny, the game show, and the infamous show that the Orlando Police Department tried desperately to shut down during Fringe, The Naked Guy. Those Oops Guys are actually Dennis Giacino and Fiely Matias. Dennis, the creator, writer, lyricist, composer of the hit off-Broadway musical about pissed off Disney princesses entitled Disenchanted, which Fiely also co-developed and then went on to direct productions in Seattle and Los Angeles and the San Francisco Bay Area, Orlando, Missouri, the original New York City workshops, the Pacific Northwest tour in Oregon and Washington, as well as a sold-out run at Tampa's The Straz Center. Disenchanted is played around the world, ladies and gentlemen, in 13 countries on 5 continents, being performed in 5 languages, most of America. It has a 4-time nominee for New York City Theater Awards, including an Outer Critics Circle nomination for Outstanding New Off-Broadway Musical. They're currently working on 2 brand new musicals, and they are here tonight to tell us all about those. Let's welcome Orlando's own, the Oops Guys, Dennis Giacino and Fiely Matias.
Intro. Oh, that's right. Fiely did.
Because we can see going beforehand.
That intro made me want to dance and show you my butt. Hi, guys.
Where are we talking to you guys from tonight?
We are just south of Portland, Oregon tonight, and oh my God, it's raining. Go figure. I'm taking a bottle of ibuprofen. What are you doing?
Oh, you got a prop table there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's got the whole thing. But before we go on, Filipino carrot top. I just want to say how I want to say, stop laughing, everyone. Which is usually what happens during our shows. I want to say that Kenny's chest is heaving and is flirting with me. Chest is nicely heaving. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I noticed
Yeah.
that. Yep.
Very sexy. It's like a 3,000-mile come on line.
Right. Now, before we go on, I'd like to say. Please donate.
Quarren Belly.
Corn belly. Please donate. Is it correctly on the screen?
I don't know. Is it
Please,
backwards?
Is it backwards?
No, it looks good. We got it.
Please donate.
The writing looks good.
Yeah. All right.
The last time you showed me your stomach, it said I'm a slave, so that.
But after the first year and a half, that ended.
Well, what did you say, Dennis, when I said I have a couple of texts from people who want to know what Fiely is, and you said,
What? Oh, he's the Filipino carrot top? Is that?
No, you said that already.
you said I'm a, and you said, well, isn't Asian and bottom?
I didn't
Anyway,
I didn't say that.
I said that.
Did I say that?
I said that.
I don't recall.
Oh my God.
I deny. No.
What is happening right now? Wait, I just opened. I'm dead.
Oh my God.
In one screen together, and this is what's happening.
56 days of this, plus 30 years. I cannot stand one more second.
Oh, boy.
Help me.
We just had a night of 1,000 TV Mix. What about an afternoon with one special Asian?
first show I saw, I was like, who this crazy bastard is, but I adore him. Also, I have that same shirt, Fiely. It's quite different on you.
Yours looks fat and wet.
Yeah. Right.
Which is
Well, that was on our drink ticket. So every time Fiely says fat and wet,
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Right.
I'd like more canned applause and rim shots, please, during this entire interview.
He hasn't had a rim shot in 30 years.
What is happening? How many viewers have we lost so far?
All of them. No.
And Kenny will explain to you on your call tomorrow what a rim shot is. But listen, you are Orlando's favorite celebrated sons for making it to the big time with something original, but that's really a false claim because neither of you are from here, are you?
My God, we've been outed.
I'd like to show you where I'm from.
Oh no! Stop it.
There's a place called the Philippines. There's an ocean. And there's...
This is how they teach geography overseas.
And when you go across here, there's an island.
Stop it.
Okay.
Wow.
What is happening?
Unplanned. So the question was, are we from Orlando? Right.
Can you, in brief, tell us what happened between when you did Enchanted at Orlando Fringe to As Bitches of the Kingdom was the title then, right? Yeah, and to where it's now 5 languages on 5 continents.
Sure. A lot of boring. A lot of voodoo dolls and luck, and we well, first of all, Michael, you kind of discovered the show because we did, and we thank you. We're forever grateful to you, and then Kenny, you're next, and because you helped us out at the Abbey with lighting and direction and stuff. And I think in that sort of from 2011 to 2014, there just are people who helped us get there. Michael, when we were at Mad Cow doing sort of our preview, you came up to me after and you said,
There's something here.
We might have something here. We were like, really? Because we don't know.
You were still fat and wet then.
Yeah. But fatter and wetter.
So,
actually, I'd say you may have something here. I said, oh my fucking God, you have got to stick with this is it. This is your opus maximus or whatever the fuck.
I said you are fat, right, and wet.
Stop it. Everybody's shaking their heads. No. My mom's over on the side going, stop it, cut them off. But
quickly as possible, not put. No.
So we.
Before I get any fatter.
Oh no. So we're so thankful to you because you inspired us to sort of like keep going because when you write something and I know we all know this, you don't know if you're sitting on something or not. You're like,
well, Wanzie knows when.
So I see how this goes. I do the setup. Okay. So anyway, so we're thankful to you. We're thankful to Kenny, Andrea Canny, who brought the producer in when we were performing at the Shakespeare. And so between that time of 2011 and 2014 when we opened, the producers sent us sort of around the country to develop the show, because when we did Bitches of the Kingdom at the Fringe, there were just songs. We didn't really have a script. And they were like, oh, have you thought of like maybe a story or something? So it took 3 years for that. So yeah.
But when we went off Broadway, we were nominated against Hamilton when Hamilton was off Broadway. And when we found out, Dennis came into the room in New Jersey and said, we were nominated. And I said, yay. And then he said, against Hamilton, we went, oh. We were like, well, it was nice.
Well, all right. It's nice to be nominated. But we were so happy because it was.
We don't have a Tony like Kenny.
True that. Yes. We saw you on TV that year.
We saw you on TV.
Yes. So yeah, it's just a lot of development, a lot of trying things and throwing them out. Some things you keep, like the new Pocahontas song and stuff like that. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of teamwork,
And now we're with Broadway licensing.
We are. So the show played off Broadway, then it closed. They did a national tour of the show, and then and then we're at Broadway licensing, and now it's licensed to professional and amateur companies all around the world.
I know it seems like a silly question, but how did it feel the first time you stood in Times Square and saw that huge?
With Michelle Knight.
Crazy.
We kind of, I kind of teared up because it's a dream come true.
Yeah. It's, and when we saw Michelle there, and then we saw Michelle take a video of herself standing in front of this like 2-3 story big.
And like a good Asian, I took a picture of Michelle taking a picture of. Never mind.
It's going nowhere.
Can you draw a facsimile of that on your chest? No.
No, but I do have. Oh, please donate on my foot for my. Michael.
For Michael.
Wanzie. Because those fetishes donate once they see my foot.
Down. Where'd you go from there? Yeah.
So you got new things in the works, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that we did during the quarantine over the past couple and a half months is we realized that, the show was on a Pacific Northwest tour at the time, and that shut down. And then every production of Disenchanted around the world shut down practically within a week of one another. And so just like every other artist, we were wondering, when are we going to get back to the theater, if we're going to get back to the theater? And so we created an online version of Disenchanted that evidently just got released last week through Broadway licensing and Broadway on demand.
There's a streaming version and a Zoom version that people can book. And Hillary Brooke, just booked it, is going to do a version of it in July.
Hillary was one of our original mermaids at the Orlando Fringe, and she does Theater South.
Yeah, in Orlando.
And
they're going to do a Zoom version.
I think One World is doing it in Orlando. So it's playing all over. You know,
where do people find the recently licensed whole show thing online?
Sure, you can go to BroadwayLicensing.com, and you'll see Disenchanted there, and you can just click on it. You can also go to officialdisenchantedmusical.com. That takes a few more keystrokes, but yeah, you can go to either one. And
it's on this foot.
Thank God he's officially out of feet, right?
I've got other parts I can write on, but
you won't be able to read it.
You won't be able to read it.
So we're working on new shows now.
One has to do with the Carpenters.
Yeah, we're working on getting the rights for the music. That's very difficult.
Yeah.
But we're working on a
jukebox spoof.
Yeah, we're spoofing all jukebox musicals and
with the Carpenters music,
using Carpenters music to do it.
And it's called "Let Me Be the One."
Right. So we're working on that. We're working on another new show that's sort of a last 5 years meets sci-fi
meets Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, I guess is the best description, and that's called Ray of Light, and it's about a guy who a loser kind of guy who, when he falls in love, he glows in the dark.
Yeah,
and it's typical Oots guys. Everybody in the audience gets glow sticks and stuff like that. So
it's the musical that glows in the dark.
Yep.
Absolutely perfect. I once accidentally broke a glow stick in my mouth. I'm glue in the dark. Yeah. Anyway.
Now, is that what we call it? Can I ask, Michael, was it like that video we saw on CNN where one guy puts the stuff on his hands and then it gets spread all around the room? Something happened.
Exactly.
Except it's all over his face.
And the clip we have is from
what's the name of the song we're about to hear?
Don't you know?
No, he's trying to keep us on track. So it's called
Cesar de la Rosa went up to New York, and when they went into a rehearsal hall, and they recorded this song with Dennis at the piano and Cesar singing, and it's called He Glows.
She Glows.
But it was a man who glowed when he fell in love.
Yes, but he fell in love with a girl. But he falls in love, and so she can physically see his glow. He can't see hers, but he knows that she glows.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Not funny.
I know, it's so not us.
Anyway, here's Cesar de la Rosa singing "She Glows" from Ray of Light.
He pops up a lot.
Before her there was a darkness that fell across this land. Before her there was a sadness that I couldn't understand. Now that she's appeared to me like an angel from above, I can say that every day is filled with love. 'Cause she glows, she glows, she fills my highs and lows. She is this average Joe's wildest dream come true. And I hope that one day she'll know how I feel. See, she makes my my days become brighter, and one day I'll tell her so she knows she glows. She shines and there is sun. One look from her and I come undone. How could this girl come so close and yet so worlds apart from me? Before there was a likeness that I've been dreaming of, and I can say that every day of this boy's life is filled with love. 'Cause she glows, and all the faster my heart goes, from head to toe, she's everything I hope that she would be, and maybe one day she'll know how I feel. She makes my night become day, my day become brighter, and one day I'll tell her, yes, one day I'll tell her, oh, one day I'll tell her, so she knows she glows.
Well, now Roman is watching.
Yes, you boys are back.
Oh.
That was the longest 10 seconds ever.
Yeah, Caesar Jelly Rosa will do it, won't he?
Oh.
You'll do it 4 pinches.
Arlene Donde and a donation from someone who would like to remain anonymous. Don't think that gets someone else out of doing it because we think it was you doing anonymous. I would like to say, however, if you're watching Chrissy Kubchik, had I realized that if your offer to cook dinner for us tonight would mean it was the first week you didn't donate, I would have forgone the Cornish hen. Filipino people, what do they eat?
I'm sorry you asked because I don't know what he's going to say, but hey, well, I can draw it. Where's Fluffy? Mom, put the cat away. Well, that's over with now. That's what you were going to write. No, anyway.
Yeah, how old is your mom?
What's that?
How old is your mother?
My mom is 86 years old, and she just graduated from college. Let me check if she's still alive.
Oh, wow.
How would you characterize her relationship with Fiely?
Oh, she hates him. She with a passion. She's like, is that mother? Anyway, no, they get along very well. They cook together, and what else do you do? I don't know.
What do you raw fish and shit, or what? Honestly, what's a Filipino diet like?
Oh my God! Well, the great thing about Filipino food actually is it's very close to Cuban food. It's very and it's a mixture of Cuban, Spanish food, and Asian food. So you get 2 for 1 when you eat Filipino food. It's really great. So honestly, keep going.
Colonization. No,
before the continents divided, the Cubans walked to the Philippines. What happened there?
No, Russia scares white people.
No. No, my mom's phone was ringing, and I was like, "What's happening?" Oh my God! You know, we're having a great time. You know, we're you know, it's a hard time that you know, we're even going to the grocery store is turn up. Yeah, you have your thing beeping and all. Yeah, so we're just, you know, doing the best we can. We're trying to, you know, get ready for when hopefully people can go back to a theater. In the meantime, we all sort of moved to online and are all figuring out the new wild, wild west for theater people, you know?
Well, good. Let's remind everyone one more time. You can see the latest version of Pocahontas song going to licensing.com. Is that it?
Yeah, BroadwayLicensing.com. And also a new Disenchanted 10th anniversary CD. And
go to disalbum.com.
disalbum.com. And that was recorded with Michelle Knight,
Andrea
Canny. They're in Orlando, and a bunch of Broadway folks, and we had a great time.
Well, wonderful. We can't thank you enough for being with us. It was an absolute delight.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to say to your friends and neighbors and or
help me. We thank you so much for having us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And as Fiely's thing reads, please donate. Yes, make a contribution at that
link right there.
That thing below. Right.
All right.
Here.
Let me say from the bottom of my heart, Dennis, I hope you survive this. Bye-bye.
Pandemic. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bring Mr. Ron into the mold out there on the Space Coast to close this thing out. We have a wonderful show lined up for you next week, ladies and gentlemen, with Chase Padgett, Gidget Galore, and another Orlando veteran gone on to bigger and better things. Frank McLean will all be with us next week. Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's what you got to say for yourself.
I'm beat, man. My stomach hurts. It's too much laughing. We have to have those guys on every week because that's
between the Asian and the lady with the hood.
I mean, it's a good thing we did a tech call so we knew what to expect. Because
anyway. Thank you, Rick Haggett over at Watermark. Thank you, David Dorman, for the opening and closing credits. Thank you, Cesar De La Rosa, who's not credited at all in any of this, and Todd Kimbrough for the flashback. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Wanzie.
Thank you, Wanzie.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Say goodnight, Gracie.